Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Perrine from the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. The Roadshow is brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsor, you can find them at www.indianasfinest.com. The man that you saw last week talking Christmas and everything Christmas, hope you had a great Christmas, Mike.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Okay, and we're moving on. For those of you who don't know, we film these shows ahead of time, so we're just
because you don't have a tan yet.
getting a few shows on record through the holidays here. So anyway, my good friend Mike Pruitt, captain from the Wayne Township Fire Department, always happy to have him here. He's always a wealth of knowledge, even though it's useless knowledge. He does have some things going on in there. So it's Christmas Eve coming up. New Year's Eve coming up. So you got Christmas on the mind still.
Nice.
New Year's Eve coming up.
Yes.
New year, new you. Lots of celebration.
Resolutions.
Gym memberships skyrocket.
Absolutely. I've been there, done that.
But you know, there's a lot of dangers that come with New Year's Eve, and people often say, "Hey, I don't want to be out. I don't want to be out on the roads. I don't want to be out anywhere." I can tell you, there will be drunk drivers out because people will make that poor decision. Gosh, in the year 2020, the options are limitless when it comes to getting home safely outside of driving yourself, which isn't safe.
Right. I mean, Uber or a taxi. I mean, no traditional taxi. I mean, either way.
Yeah.
But they make it so easy to put an app on your phone these days. And you know, used to, I would struggle to find an Uber that would come to where I live at.
Yeah.
But honestly, now we're starting to see more and more Ubers available. Now you may have to pay a little bit more, a premium price.
Right.
But I mean, compared to
what
the outcome would be.
What is that? I mean, you live 45 minutes from downtown Indianapolis. What would it cost you to come downtown, you think?
I mean, on a regular, maybe $25 to come downtown.
That's nothing.
Now, on a premium, they could be double that.
Sure,
I mean, you got to warn people about that you know, you're going to pay double. But when you look at the cost of taking someone's life or seriously injuring someone or getting arrested and going to jail, the cost isn't even close.
Right.
It's the best money you could ever invest in traveling to a party somewhere and returning home.
Yeah, don't forget, if you get arrested for a DUI, it's more than just fines and jail time, which is going to be in the thousands of dollars and attorney fees and all that. It stays on your record. I mean, that doesn't go away, and so you might want to go get a job in the future or whatever it may be. So
it's embarrassing.
It's
embarrassing for people.
Bad decision could have lifelong consequences.
It is. It's embarrassing. I mean, we both probably know people that have gone through that, and they're embarrassed. It's expensive.
And they should be. They should be because it was a bad decision.
It was a bad decision, and you know, fortunately, none of my friends that's happened to have hurt anyone, but they very well could have.
Sure.
So you know, it's just one of those things that there's too many avenues out there to make safe choices.
I have never, ever heard a valid excuse from somebody that's been driving drunk. They try to come up with excuses. Oh, my ride left me, or I didn't have any money for a taxi, or blah, blah. You know, the excuses go on, but none of them are valid.
Right.
There's other options. You know, putting your life and so many lives at risk by getting behind the wheel.
There's nothing wrong with staying home and celebrating New Year's Eve with family.
Right.
If you're hosting a party,
how
many times do you know the responsibility of hosting a party for someone potentially leaving your party?
I couldn't live with myself.
And getting in an accident and harming someone. I mean, that's serious business if that happens. And I've seen parties before where the adults are there and the teenagers are there.
Yeah.
And, you know, somehow the teenagers get access to some alcohol. That's a recipe for major disaster in your life.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't want to see anybody get in
that
situation.
It's not time to be the cool host or the cool person. Don't be afraid to intervene. If you see somebody trying to leave and you know they've been drinking, hey, get them another option. Stop them. And you know what? I can't imagine how hard this would be, but I've been part of where people have called and said, hey, my friend just left in a car. They're really intoxicated. I'm afraid they're going to hurt somebody. I can't imagine how hard it is to make that call, but do what you have to do before you get to that point.
Well, we've both seen what happens in the worst case scenarios.
It's tragic.
And you know, at all ages.
Yeah.
It's not just you know, the older adults, or it could be someone very young that's involved in the accident. So we've all seen what the outcome can be when people don't make good choices, whether it's New Year's Eve or what other time of the year.
The most gut-wrenching thing that we do as first responders is have to knock on somebody's door in the middle of the night and tell them that their loved one isn't coming home because they were killed. And that's even harder when you have to tell them it was at the hands of a drunk driver.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've experienced that. Those moments are permanent snapshots in my head of seeing the faces and feeling the emotion of those moments. And there's no excuse for anybody to ever get behind the wheel after drinking. And here's the thing that I always tell people. They're like, well, how do I know? How do I know if I'm a 0.08 or under, or 0.06? And here's what I tell people. If you're to the point where you're asking yourself, gosh, I don't know if I should drive or not, the answer is always no. Yeah. It doesn't matter how close you think you are, or hey, I've only had 1 or 2 beers, or whatever it may be. If you're asking yourself if you're okay, then you're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the term buzz driving is drunk driving.
Yeah.
A lot of people these days, with some of the alcohol out there, if someone says, well, I just had 1 beer.
Yeah.
Well, in today's world,
right,
some of these craft beers,
right,
it's like drinking 2 or 3,
yeah,
and you may misjudge the amount of alcohol you have in your system. And if you have any question in your mind at that point, you just need to either stay where you're at, find somebody sober to drive you home, come pick you up, because when you wake up the next morning, you're going to be absolutely happy that you did that.
And again, I'll give you an example. One night I worked a crash. Somebody was sitting at a red light. They got rear-ended. Minor fender bender crash. The person who was sitting at the stoplight that got rear-ended was a .09, went to jail for a DUI. Crash wasn't their fault.
Yep. Sometimes it's
they
not.
Were just sitting there and they went to jail. The driver, the person that hit them, was sober.
Yeah.
So not always your action, but also people need to know that you don't have to be over a .08 to be charged with DUI. If you're a .02, a .03, and you get involved in a crash, and that crash appears to be because of any type of impairment, right, you're going to get charged with a DUI. And if somebody's injured, it enhances that. And if somebody's killed, it enhances it even more. So just alcohol in your system and driving just isn't a good combination.
Yeah. Offer plenty of, if you're hosting a party,
yeah,
offer alternative drinks from alcohol.
Sleep here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, drinks. Yeah,
drinks.
Sleep, yeah.
Plenty of water
and pop and
stuff
whatever,
like that for people that don't necessarily want to drink.
Absolutely.
And if somebody doesn't want to drink, don't force them into the situation.
And if you're going to a party, plan now. Plan before you get there. Who's going to be my designated driver, or am I sleeping there, or am I using another service or whatever? But plan before you ever take that first sip how you're going to get home.
Right. We've gone to New Year's Eve parties here in downtown over the years, but we always get a hotel.
Right.
Still, when you add up the money that you spend on a hotel room,
you know what? But
it's still cheaper.
It takes away any stress, right? You can enjoy yourself, and you don't even have to think about, well, how am I going to get home, or what am I going to do at the end of this, or whatever. It just makes it a much less stressful evening.
So how about everybody likes to fire those guns off on New Year's Eve. What do we get into there, John?
It is. It's common that people think a good way to celebrate ringing in the New Year is by shooting lead into the air that at some point is going to come back down. Maybe not at the same velocity that it comes out. And I've seen different studies on all that stuff, but it still could kill somebody or seriously hurt them. They come through people's roofs. They come through people's cars. Those bullets don't shoot guns into the air anytime, ever. Right? It's just not safe.
Right. And I actually, a few years back, I received a call. We responded to a person shot, got there, and it was a piece of lead that had come from a gun. Didn't involve the people in the mobile home, but it came through the roof of the mobile home and struck one of the individuals in the leg of the mobile home.
Wow. Just
the most freakish accident, but it was because someone was irresponsible and fired those guns in the area. And I've been many times, sounds like a war zone.
That's awful.
Especially when you're in a city setting, you'll hear a lot of it.
Yeah. How about fireworks, Mike? What about fireworks on New Year's Eve? What do you think?
We still apply the same rules when it comes to fireworks and safety that we would on the 4th of July. Use good sense. Don't let the kids mess around with these things. Make sure we have a proper place that we're going to set them off, and look at the hours and make sure that the time frames that you can actually set, because they do give you special time frames on certain holidays to set off fireworks.
Yeah. So what do you think? New Year's resolutions, everybody feels good about themselves and saying, this is what I want to do next year. And sometimes they're achievable goals and sometimes they're not. I would say start with an achievable goal, whether that's financial, health, whatever it may be. Start with something that is realistic and achievable.
I always prefer health.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter what else you do when it comes to resolutions. And health is probably the biggest one that people struggle with. I'm getting that gym membership.
Right.
I'm going to drop 50 pounds by summer.
Yeah.
And it tends to go off the tracks. I mean, I've been there and done that. I've been the one that got the gym membership, and the gym's so packed.
Yeah, all my friends that regularly visit gyms, they say, they hate the month of January, February.
Yeah, everybody's in there getting in shape and hogging all the mirrors.
But good for them. Maybe somebody will stick to it.
Well, just start out eating right.
Yeah.
That a lot of that can get you a long ways without having to go to the gym.
You know what's hard though is I found is eating healthy is expensive.
It is.
Like stuff that's not healthy is cheap.
So is a heart attack. I mean,
good point.
I mean, it can be very expensive.
I don't mean to laugh, but you're right.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole DUI thing. It's like you can make choices, and if you want to spend a little bit more money, on your food, then you're going to live a little bit longer because you're healthier.
You know what I've discovered recently? Instead of like deep fried French fries and stuff, is an air fryer. An air fryer makes food taste just like it's fried in grease, but there's no grease. It's still not healthy food, but it's healthier. Right?
Sounds healthier, right?
Yeah.
It's made with air, right?
It's made with air, not
air's
grease.
healthy. I mean, we're sitting in here breathing air. I'm feeling healthier every second I take a deep breath in. But what's your New Year's resolution, John?
I just want to continue to provide a good life for my family and work hard to do that. And so, my resolution isn't necessarily to change, but it's to continue being a good dad and a good husband, a good member of my contributor to my community, and hopefully be a role model to some of the younger generations.
Well, rumor is out there that you've been doing a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, well, I do. But, I will make a resolution is it's time for me to get myself back in shape. I don't exercise regularly other than physical work and play and things like that. But I need to get myself back in shape.
I've noticed you get a little winded giving interviews. I can tell you need a little help.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you'll be there for me to help out. What's your resolution?
Gosh, when you get to be my age, live another year. No, but mine is eating. Yeah. I mean, I was
really good this year.
I was doing really good, and then I got to the end of the year, and I got busy traveling different places, and man, I fell off the wagon.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to get back on the wagon, but I'm also making excuses now. Well, maybe I should just wait till the first of the year and then start.
Right.
That way you get through the holidays.
Yeah.
So I mean, healthy eating, and I think that's my big one. And spending more time with my parents because I've been so busy over the last year with different things that I need to go spend some more time with them. And so just little things like that, achievable goals.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's all good.
Yeah. So what does New Year's Eve at the firehouse, what's that like?
New Year's Eve at the firehouse can actually be pretty boring.
Yeah. You're holding your breath, hoping you don't get any calls, right?
Yeah. Sometimes at the firehouse, people stay up and watch the ball drop. But I got to tell you that most of the time, everybody's going off to bed before midnight even comes. Right. Sometimes families come by and celebrate New Year's with their mother or their father, or boyfriend, girlfriend, if they're at work. So, get to spend some quality time there. But for the most part, my experiences have been, going to bed and wake up and just start a new year, start it out fresh. Fortunately, over the years, when I did work New Year's Eve, it's really quiet for the most part.
I was going to say, a lot of your fire buddies that might be listening are probably laughing right now, saying, "I can't remember last time Mike Pruitt worked on New Year's Eve."
Yeah, I know.
When like me too. Once you get in one of these admin jobs, you kind of lose touch with what it was like to work those. But we still do. We're still.
Yeah, I mean, I think back and I think, it's only been a couple of years ago. But then I look at the calendar, how long ago it's been. It's been a while.
Right. So anyway, New Year, we just want everybody to have a safe year. Let's start it off right. You know what? If you're not a seatbelt wearer, make your resolution to be to wear your seatbelt. Because I can tell you there's nothing that's going to keep you safer in a car than your seatbelt. And you may think you're a great driver, but it's those other drivers you need to worry about. So
smoke alarms.
Smoke alarms.
So you're going seatbelts, I'll say smoke alarms.
I like it.
Make sure those smoke alarms are working throughout your home.
New Year's Day is probably a great time to check the batteries on your smoke alarms.
Get some new smoke alarms. If you haven't had changed, well, do it.
Yep. And Mike will buy you a smoke alarm if you need one.
You can come to the firehouse, and most firehouses will provide you with at least one.
There you go. Yep. So, and again, another life-saving tool that only costs a couple of dollars at very best. or worse, and could save your life. So
Yep.
thank you very much. Happy New Year to everybody. We want you to have a safe New Year. Thanks to my guest, Captain Mike Pruitt. Indiana State Police Roadshow is out.